Hey world, this is Justin Tyler. Anyways, I wanted to let the public know that there's multiple things going on that everybody needs to be aware of. It took some time of staying in a homeless shelter that I started to realize how much we really affect each other, even when you have your own home and you don't realize it. I'm going to be talking about how to not contaminate your children and to make sure that your home and your family is safe, because the government apparently don't care about us. And I do believe in the Illuminati. It's not making me afraid to live my life because I'm afraid of them or whatever. No, I'm here to expose the obvious. So if you don't believe in what I do, that's fine. I'm a Satanist, a spiritual Satanist, and Satan requires you to think, he wants you to think for yourself, so it's part atheism as well. Anyways, so the main subject is food contamination and the restroom. How many of you are parents? How many of you, unfortunately, had to share a restroom with your child? Okay, so as I'm sitting, I want to show you something. That imagine that you're sitting on the toilet, right? And you're not, but this is me, my food. So if I were using the restroom, where are my hands going? Where are my hands going? When you reach down to the toilet paper roll, your kids have also touched that. So after you touch that toilet paper roll, what's on your hands? Should you have your own restroom? Like, should this be mandatory and law that there should be 2 restrooms in one home? Well, there's not enough money in the world apparently to redo every household, but guess what? If you're an adult and you touch your genitals and you go to the restroom and you touch that toilet paper roll to touch your bottom and to do what you got to do, you're contaminating your children by touching that roll. So that, and before you sit down on the toilet, what are you supposed to be doing that they don't tell us about? You have to get sanitized wipes, alcohol ones. Wipe down the toilet before you sit down, adults. Have your own toilet paper roll ready with you when you use the restroom. Put it in a pouch in, your purse that you should have wrapped around your arm so it doesn't touch anything else in the bathroom that your kids could be touching. When you go to wash your hands, you need to disinfect after you touch that handle, because if you don't, your kids come into the restroom, they touch where your genitals were or where your hands were that had that on there. They want us to be stupid. They want us to contaminate our kids. They want you to be dumb and contaminate your kids. And you do not want them to go into your bedroom, parents, because after you do your love making in the bed and your sad little boy comes into the room and he's like, "Mommy, I'm scared. I had a nightmare. Can I sleep with you?" What are you covered in? What's on your bed after you do your love making? It is 2023, people. Satan bless America. Him and his Azazel are all about success and taking care of yourself and being hygienic as possible, because guess what? We got kids everywhere. When you prep for your friends and family for food, when you got them tongs, when you're sharing that food, Have you ever been Golden Corral? Guess what? They passed a law that make it legal for people who have their food handling license to not wear gloves because they have the license. So by law, they're allowed to take a napkin, put it on their raw genital wart hand, and hand you your bowl of food and say, "Here you go." Who passed that law? The Illuminati, because they wanted to contaminate you, to start a COVID New World Order and put you in a facility where they can decontaminate you and segregate you from your kids, because they're going to go beep, 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 and say, oh, guess what? Your temperature is too high and you have this imaginary thing, imaginary sickness. They want to contaminate you so that they could take your human rights from you when everybody around you gets sick. Okay, so if you've been to Golden Corral, how many people go in there and touch the tongs after you just did with their bare hands? They're like, oh, let's get some salad. Salad, put it on the plate. And then you take your hand away and you put it on your plate. What are you touching? Your plate. Once you remove your contaminated hand, grab your fork, you're eating off that plate. You know, there's these people called the shadow government that sit back and watch us like we're cattle every single day. And like, that one over there didn't go wash his hands. And the other one's like, it's gonna get the rest of them sick. And then they go to the tower and laugh about it, and they're like, heh. Like, while they pump out movies for you guys to distract you, what's the last thing you touched before you went in your car and then handed your child a drink? Everyone should be carrying hand sanitizer with them at all times. Doom on you. Yeah, we're about to hit the New World Order, and just remember, if you forget one time to not contaminate or not decontaminate, and you accidentally contaminate yourself, you have to breathe, forgive yourself, because you're not gonna get sick like 75% of the time, as long as it's not wet. If you put your hand in something wet, like bodily fluid, and it's not yours, and then you put it in your mouth, you might get sick. And I've been living like this for a year. Accidents happen. I remember I was like in the 90s, I used to buy soda. I just pick up my can and start drinking. Nothing happened, but I started to realize this is the Matrix. It's when people fall asleep, they start to, like, I don't know. It's like being brainwashed in a cult. You know? You start to wake up. But we're all being watched on camera. This is why this is happening. So, to prevent sickness, to prevent anybody from being raped by other people's germs, you have to be considerate as much as possible. And hand sanitizer should be worn by everybody at all times. We are supposed to be exposed to germs, but how much? I had a fly land on my sandwich the other day, and you know what? I didn't see it until after I took a bite. Did I get sick? No. And I watched that little fly. He cleaned himself. Am I sick? No. Mind over matter. Forgive yourselves. Do not become schizophrenic and think, oh my God, I'm going to catch this, and then all of a sudden you catch it. because you're worried about it. They're not supposed to be doing that. They legalized this in Washington, that in Seattle. If you have your food handler's license, you're allowed to serve somebody barehanded. Illuminati, and everybody else that don't know about this, who's going to stand up and change this? Please.